My name is Mary Turner. I'm president of the Minnesota Nurses Association. More importantly, I'm an ICU night nurse who's actually worked night shift this whole last weekend here. Today, my heart breaks for the patients in Minnesota. We came here to pass the Keeping Nurses at the Bedside Act because of the power and influence of corporate healthcare executives. That bill has died. And I'm heartbroken. For those nurses who choose to stay at the bedside, though, the language in this agreement will help them to feel safe in their jobs. It will help them to care for their children, to find relief from a heavy student loans. It will meaningfully improve the lives and the work of those nurses who choose to stay in our profession. The strong protections against the workplace violence are especially critical. This is some of the strongest language in our country as far as workplace violence protections, and it will be a godsend to many of our nurses on the most understaffed floors. It breaks my heart when I see a 26-year-old nurse who's already got back injuries and only has a few more years left in her at age 26 because they've been beaten up at the bedside. This language will help to hopefully put a stop to that kind of thing. Today's outcome and the events of the last 3 weeks makes clear that the outside power of corporate executives is alive and well. It is alive and well in Minnesota, in the halls of the power, and in the halls of our hospitals. The strong-armed bullying tactics of hospital CEOs, which all Minnesotans have suffered this last week, are the same tactics nurses experience every day in the workplace. Brave legislators champion for the people, especially lead authors of this bill, Senator Erin Murphy, Representative Sandra Feist, as well as Senator Abler, Senator Bolden, Senator Diestricht, and House Speaker Hortman. They all stood with the nurses and did everything they could to resist the crushing power of corporate demands, and they have my eternal gratitude and the gratitude of the nurses. We are thankful for your strong support, but make no mistake, these victories were not given by anyone in this building. They were demanded by the nurses, who spent hundreds of hours at the Capitol, many traveling hundreds of miles from greater Minnesota to testify on this bill and meet with legislators. They held space in the halls of power and spoke out even when they risked retaliation or termination by their employers. And I speak about those brave nurses coming up from southern Minnesota. I hope Minnesotans know how hard nurses fought, that we've been fighting for 15 years, for your care and safety. And I hope your corporate executives and our public officials know that our fight is not over, to put patients before profits in our healthcare system. And I'll say one last thing. The nurses for 15 years have come up here, not in our own self-interest, but we always have and we always will be up here to fight for our patients and fight for the people of Minnesota. We always have and we always will.